Good afternoon, everyone. I hope people are yet to get back from lunch. We are probably going to wait for a few more minutes before we kick off with the official session. I think how's been the event so far? We started on a very macro note, and we had very enthusiastic sessions and speeches by the senior dignitaries. महेंद्र भाई ने अच्छी बात की, केटी पटेल साहब ने बड़ी अच्छी बात की, चंद्रकांत सालुंके सर ने ओपनिंग सेशन किया, बहुत मैक्रो लेवल इंडिकेटर्स बात किए हमने, और इंडिया एक ग्रोथ स्टोरी है वर्ल्ड के लिए, बहुत अच्छे से समझ में आया, और हम देख भी रहे हैं, सुन भी रहे हैं. आई थिंक पोस्ट पैंडमिक वी एज अ कंट्री हम बड़ा अच्छा इवॉल्व हुए हैं, वेदर इट इज़ इन टर्म्स ऑफ एक्सपोर्ट्स or it is also in terms of, imports were curbed initially. But definitely without import, the global supply chain can never be established. So दोनों ही lines पे बहुत अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं. But what I'll do is I'll try to wear the demon's hat, or I will try to become the devil's advocate. And probably this is what the session calls for. As a SME Chamber of India representative for Gujarat region, we've been taking a lot of initiatives under the guidance of Chandrakant Salunke sir, and so on and so forth. We come across बहुत सारे questions आते हैं. When SMEs meet us, they come with a lot of expectations. जब वो इस तरीके के event में आते हैं, तो they come for 2 or 3 very strong reasons. Either they come for networking, or they come for some very clear takeaways, whether it is in terms of finance, which is the key ingredient as of now. We've talked about macro level indicators, but we've also talked about factoring, we talked about bank credit, we've talked about how government is supporting a lot of SMEs and MSMEs. I think before we kick off, कुछ रामधारी सी दिनकर की लाइनें याद आ रही है मुझे, and so that it gives again the josh back to all of us, I'll just probably before we kick off I'll state those lines. Said that रामधारी सी दिनकर एक हिंदी कवि हैं, and उनकी कुछ लाइन्स इस तरीके से है, वसुधा का नेता कौन हुआ, भूखंड विजेता कौन हुआ, अतुलित यश क्रेता कौन हुआ, नवधर्म प्रणेता कौन हुआ, जिसने न कभी आराम किया, विघ्नों में रहकर नाम किया, है कौन विघ्न ऐसा जग में, जो टिक सके वीर नर के मग में, खम ठोक ठेलता है जब नर, पत्थर के जाते पांव उखड़, मानव जब जोर लगाता है, पत्थर पानी बन जाता है. I think this holds quite true in the current pretext and dominant. Just to wear the demon's hat, India has close to 7.5 crores SMEs. We've been talking about a lot of SMEs, hue and cry, we say 30%. I'm not getting into any macros, although I come from a very decent, modesty, well academic background where सिर्फ statistics ही हम बात करते रहे, but for a change I'll not talk about that. We are talking about 7.5 crores SMEs. The live SMEs could be 1.5 crores. Please correct me or excuse me for the wrong numbers in case here and there that I'm quoting. That means there is a definite need of a strong system or a platform which probably encompasses all the key ingredients which are needed for currently SME growth, whether it is in terms of technology, it is in terms of finance, which is the key fuel ingredient as of now, or it is in terms of the business networking platform in terms which will further help us to streamline the supply chain in terms of import and export. So which is badly needed in our country. Gujarat per se, I think will have close to 7.5 lakhs SMEs. Ahmedabad will have close to 35,000 SMEs or industries all put together in and around. I don't know how many of them are currently actually in a very happy state, though as a country, we are quite behind in terms of our happiness quotient also, even on an individual state. But when जब SMEs की बात आती है, तो हम बात करते हैं, मिला लेते हैं एक इकोसिस्टम, entrepreneurs. हम बात करते हैं एक ऐसा इकोसिस्टम जिसको सबसे पहला प्रॉब्लम है कि अगर यूनिट सेटअप करना है तो आपको सबसे पहले जो जमीन है, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, वो महंगी लेनी है। उस महंगी जमीन लेने के लिए अगर आपके पास पैसा नहीं है तो यू आर गोइंग टू टाइड, यू आर गोइंग टू एक्चुअली गो अगेंस्ट द करंट। दूसरा बड़ा प्रॉब्लम, you will have always, there will be a working capital crunch because your receivable cycle will always be more than the cycle, your expense cycle. So your expense will be, you will have to disburse money faster, but the money that you are going to receive or we will receive as SMEs will probably always be in the longer chain. There will be legal problems, there will be financial problems, there will be networking, there will be business expansion problems and so on and so forth. इसीलिए आज के जो हमारे अभी के स्पीकर्स हैं वो बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट योगदान प्ले करेंगे ये समझाने में कि इन सारे प्रॉब्लम्स को हम एज इंडस्ट्री, एंटरप्रेन्योर्स, एसएमईज, एमएसएमईज कैसे टैकल करेंगे. Now over to you, sir.
So now we have Vivek Singhal, DGM, Bank of Baroda. Can we have huge round of applause for him?
Thank you, Chandrakant ji, and all my colleagues on the dais. So I just say sorry to ma'am because our ED sir has some urgent work for DFS, so he couldn't attend this program. But he is very keen to attend this program because he is our ED for SME, and he has grown in other banks and this bank from SME side also. So he is very keen, and he told Chandrakant ji that definitely next time he will be there. So sir, I am sorry on behalf of my AD sir. So friends, जैसा आप सभी लोग आज SME के हैं, मैं भी लास्ट 15 ईयर्स से SME में काम कर रहा हूँ. मेरे साथ हमारे DGM मिस्टर सुनील झा सर भी हैं जो कि वो भी SME में डील कर रहे हैं. आई थिंक मोस्ट ऑफ द स्पीकर्स ने पहले जैसे बैंक ऑफ इंडिया से थे, उन्होंने बताया कि आज SME क्लाइंट्स जो हैं उनको बेसिकली ये चाहिए कि किस तरीके से वो बिज़नेस एस्टेब्लिश करना चाहते हैं. पहले भी उन्होंने ये बताया कि अपने को गोल क्या है, क्या हम काम करना चाहते हैं, उसका इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर कहाँ से आएगा, पैसा कहाँ से आएगा, पैसा रोल ओवर कहाँ से वापस आएगा. अल्टीमेटली आज हम बैंक ऑफ बड़ौदा की बात करें तो हमारे पास 1908 का एस्टेब्लिश्ड बैंक है, पुरानी लीगेसी है. बैंक के पास हर तरह के कस्टमर के लिए हर तरह का प्रोडक्ट है. प्रोडक्ट के साथ साथ हमारे पास आज इंश्योरेंस आर्म भी है, क्रेडिट कार्ड आर्म भी है, म्यूचुअल फंड आर्म भी है. तो आई थिंक पब्लिक सेक्टर बैंक्स के पास आज की तारीख में एक अम्ब्रेला के नीचे सारी सर्विसेज हैं जो कि एक बैंकिंग इंडस्ट्री को देना चाहिए. आज अगर आप सभी लोग, क्योंकि कुछ तो नए एंटरप्रेन्योर्स हैं जो कि नए अपना एस्टेब्लिशमेंट चलाना चाहते हैं या चला रहे हैं, तो जनरली हम लोगों ने देखा है कि जब भी कोई ग्रीन फील्ड प्रोजेक्ट होता है तो हमारे मतलब क्रिटिसिज्म नहीं है, लेकिन हमारे जो प्राइवेट सेक्टर के कलीग्स हैं वो थोड़ा सा हेजिटेट करते हैं. और जब ग्रीन फील्ड प्रोजेक्ट एक डेवलप हो जाता है, उसका रेवेन्यू जनरेशन होने लग जाता है, उसके फ्रूट्स आने लग जाते हैं, तो जनरली वो फिर मार्केट में एक फ़ाइट आती है कि अब रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट का क्लैश होता है कि पब्लिक सेक्टर हाई ले रहा है, प्राइवेट सेक्टर कम ले रहा है पब्लिक. लेकिन मैं आप सब लोगों को कहना चाहूँगा कि पब्लिक सेक्टर, जैसा सुबह मेरे बैंक ऑफ इंडिया के साथी ने भी कहा कि पब्लिक सेक्टर बैंक में या पहले ज़माने में जो होता था कि आज किसी को पैसा लेने आना है तो वो पहले पूछता था भाई आस पड़ोसियों से कैसा आदमी है, इसका चाल चलन कैसा है, पहले इसने पैसा लिया तो वैसे चुकाता है नहीं चुकाता है, इसका फैमिली बैकग्राउंड क्या है, कल को वो जो पैसा देगा वो डूबेगा तो नहीं. या फिर वो कहता है कि जैसा सुबह भी बताया कि आप अपनी ज्वेलरी हमारे पास रख दो या अपने मकान के पेपर रख दो. खाली वो मकान के पेपर अपने पास रखता है, कहीं बेचता नहीं है, ना ज्वेलरी वो बेचता, लेकिन उसके आवाज़ में वो कुछ 2-4 पैसा एक्स्ट्रा लेता है क्योंकि उसको भी रोल ओवर करना है, उसको भी अपनी आजीविका कमानी है. और बैंक वाले हम जो पैसा आप लोगों से इंटरेस्ट में ले रहे हैं वो कहीं ना कहीं पब्लिक का ही पैसा है, और पब्लिक का पैसा है उसमें कुछ हमारा खर्चा जोड़ के हम आप लोगों से इंटरेस्ट लेते हैं. और बेसिकली MSME और गुजरात, जहाँ पे कि नरेंद्र मोदी जी हमारे प्राइम मिनिस्टर साहब का ये गढ़ है, तो MSME का उनका मेन फोकस है. तो कहीं भी हम रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट MSME से ज़्यादा ले ही नहीं सकते. लेकिन जैसा आपको सुबह भी बताया गया कि अगर आप अपना अकाउंट का एग्जिस्टिंग अगर आपका अकाउंट है तो उसका कंडक्ट अच्छा रखेंगे, सिविल में ओवरड्यू नहीं रखेंगे, रेटिंग्स अच्छी रखेंगे, तो ऐसा नहीं है कि बैंक कोलेटरल मांगता ही है, बैंक ये कहता है कि आपका बिजनेस मॉडल है जिसमें से कि रोल ओवर होकर पैसा आएगा। अगर आपका समझ लीजिए, जैसा अभी बताया हमारे साथी ने कि वर्किंग कैपिटल साइकिल आपका रोल ओवर होना चाहिए, डेटर्स के पैसा आना चाहिए, अल्टीमेटली आप क्रेडिटर्स को पेमेंट करेंगे, कैश जनरेशन होना चाहिए और अल्टीमेटली उससे बैंक का पेमेंट जाएगा। कई एमएसएमई कस्टमर्स हैं जो कि छोटा होने के कारण हमारे जो सीए साथीगण यहाँ पे बैठे हैं, तो सीए साथीगण उनको बोलते हैं कि सर आप नेटवर्थ मत बढ़ाओ, प्रॉफिट कम दिखाओ। अल्टीमेटली जब नेटवर्थ नहीं बढ़ती, प्रॉफिट नहीं आता, तो बैंक वाले कहते हैं कि भाई आप अगली साल का पेमेंट कहाँ से चुकाओगे। तो हम लोग जहाँ भी जाते हैं, सुबह भी जैसे एक सज्जन बोल रहे थे कि आज 75% हमारे को ईसीजीसी कवरेज मिल जाता है, 25% तो हमारा प्रॉफिट है। तो सच्चाई में आप जानते हैं 25% भी नहीं, प्रॉफिट उससे कहीं ज़्यादा है। तो प्रॉफिट ज़्यादा है तो आप बुक्स में दिखाएंगे, आपकी नेटवर्थ बढ़ेगी तो अगली साल के लिए या सब्सिक्वेंट ईयर्स के लिए आप लोगों की लोन की एलिजिबिलिटी बढ़ेगी। अल्टीमेटली बैंक को तो खाली इंटरेस्ट कमाना है। अगर आपका अकाउंट अच्छा चलता रहेगा, बैंक को इंटरेस्ट मिलता रहेगा, तो बैंक कभी आपसे कहेगा ही नहीं कि फर्दर कोलेटरल लाइए। बैंक को अपना ब्याज चाहिए, क्योंकि बैंक को भी वापस अपने डिपॉजिटर्स को ब्याज देना है। तो आज हम बैंक ऑफ बड़ौदा का यहाँ पे हमने स्टॉल भी लगाया है और आप सब लोगों को टेबल पे हम लोगों ने हमारे बैंक की जो एसएमई के प्रोडक्ट्स हैं, चाहे वो कॉन्ट्रैक्टर के लिए हों, हमारा सीवीसीएमई कमर्शियल व्हीकल या फिर माइनिंग इक्विपमेंट भी एक सेक्टर है, उसको भी हम कैटर करते हैं। कॉन्ट्रैक्टर है, अपना मुद्रा लोन देखेंगे तो वो भी हमारे पास है। जो आप स्कीम सोचेंगे हॉस्पिटल के लिए, एजुकेशन इंस्टीट्यूट के लिए, सभी के लिए हमारे पास स्कीम्स हैं, चाहे वो नया एस्टेब्लिशमेंट हो या फिर रनिंग हो। तो आप जिसको भी कोई क्वेरीज़ हैं तो हमारे इस पे स्टॉल पे आके पूछ सकते हैं। और हम एज अ बैंक ऑफ बड़ौदा, क्योंकि हम गुजरात बेस्ड बैंक हैं और 3 बैंकों के मर्जर के बाद आज हमारी अराउंड 8600 ब्रांचेस पैन इंडिया हैं और उसके अलावा अराउंड 100 ब्रांचेस आउटसाइड हैं। तो आपको एक्सपोर्ट क्रेडिट की अगर बात करें तो एक्सपोर्ट क्रेडिट में भी जो रेट्स हमारे यहाँ मिल सकती हैं, शायद दूसरा बैंक, छोटा बैंक नहीं दे पाएगा। जहाँ तक डिजिटल लैंडिंग की बात है तो हम लोगों का अपना प्लेटफॉर्म है छोटे PSB 59 लोन्स के लिए, और हमारा जो फॉरेक्स का है उसका भी हमारा आज की तारीख में पूरा ऑनलाइन सिस्टम है। तो कहने का मतलब है आप प्राइवेट सेक्टर बैंक्स से कहीं भी आजकल पब्लिक सेक्टर बैंक्स की तुलना में कहीं पीछे नहीं है और सब प्रोडक्ट्स इन अ सिंगल विंडो हैं। तो आप सभी लोगों को मेरा निवेदन है कि आप जहाँ भी बैंक की ज़रूरत है कृपया करके बैंक के पास आएँ। आप अपने चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट को अगर साझेदार मानते हैं तो उसको साथ लेके आएँ, लेकिन बैंक को पूरी तकलीफ बताएं कि सर हमारे को कितना लोन चाहिए और कितने दिन में हम चुकाएंगे, कहाँ से चुकाएंगे, आप अपना पैसा कहाँ से लाएंगे। लोग बोलते हैं कि लैंड बेच के लाएंगे, लेकिन लैंड कभी बिकती नहीं है आसानी से। आज मैं सोचता हूँ मेरा मकान है तो 1 करोड़ का है तो मैं 1.25 करोड़ में बेचूंगा, 95 लाख में नहीं बेचूंगा। तो मेरा आप सभी से रिक्वेस्ट है कि बैंक के पास जाएंगे, बात करेंगे, हेजिटेट नहीं करें। आपको हिंदी आती है हिंदी में बात कीजिए, मैं भी हिंदी में बोल रहा हूँ, इंग्लिश में आती है इंग्लिश, गुजराती, जो आप चाहें उस भाषा में बात कीजिए, लेकिन बैंक को अपनी समस्या बताएं। अगर अकाउंट रनिंग है, उसमें लगता है आपको यार मैं फंस गया, मेरा डेटर्स का पैसा नहीं आ रहा, बैंक के पास जाएंगे तो बैंक आपको रास्ता बताएगा, कुछ एडिशनल पैसा देगा, जरूरत पड़ने पे बैंक डेटर्स से भी कहेगा भाई आप पैसा चुकाओ, हमारा पैसा अटका हुआ है। तो मैं आप सभी से निवेदन करूंगा कि बैंक को अपना पार्टनर समझें, जैसा आप सीए को अपना पार्टनर समझते हैं वैसे ही बैंक को अपना पार्टनर समझें। तो थैंक यू वेरी मच मेरी साइड से। आपको कुछ भी एसएमई से रिगार्डिंग क्वेरी हो तो हमारा स्टॉल भी है और हम लोग भी हैं, तो यू आर मोस्ट वेलकम। थैंक यू।
Thank you so much, sir. Now I will invite Mr. Nikit Pujari, Strategic Alliance and Partnership, DRIP Capital, and his topic is Factoring as a Financial Tool for Growing SME Exporters. Can we have a huge round of applause for him?
Everyone, हो गया सबका lunch? Great. So I think we've all gathered here today. Let's start by saying a big thanks to SME Chamber. I think 28 to 30 years say they have helped businesses grow. Chandrakant ji himself has played a huge role in that. So big thanks to him and the entire ecosystem. Okay, so now I would like to start off, before talking about my product and what do we do, let's start by talking about India. Okay, तो मतलब क्या चल रहा है फिलहाल exactly India में? तो हम देख रहे हैं कि इंडियन गुड्स जो है ये काफ़ी डिमांड में है ओवरसीज, बट इसके रीजंस क्या है? We see that Indians are able to produce goods at very low prices and इसका बहुत डिमांड है ओवरसीज। जैसे नीलेश जी भी सुबह बता रहे थे फर्स्ट हाफ में that we are very smart and we are selling at very competitive prices. That is the major reason behind the demand. बट डिमांड है तो कहीं पे तो देर इज अ गैप. सो वेयर एग्जैक्टली द गैप इज कम इन ओवर द पास्ट 2 years. जैसे हमने देखा है कोविड हैज़ बीन अ मेजर चैलेंज फॉर एवरीथिंग, राइट. तो जैसे हमने देखा दैट वर्किंग कैपिटल इशूज तो थे ही, दैट वाज जस्ट वन ऑफ द प्रॉब्लम्स. बट वी सॉ दैट एक मेजर चैलेंज था विच वॉज फ्रेट के चार्जेस हो गए थे 4x 5x. मतलब आप जहाँ पे 1000 दे रहे थे वहाँ पे आपको 5000 देना पड़ रहा था. सो दैट वाज वन ऑफ द मेजर चैलेंजेस फॉर SMEs एंड MSMEs. Okay, so now what I'll be talking about is the contribution of SMEs and MSMEs. मतलब सुबह से ये एक रिविजन जैसा हो जाएगा सबके लिए. I think we have been talking about it continuously. But ये रोल क्या है इनका in India's economy, right? तो हम देख रहे कि ये कम्युनिटी है, they are contributing a total of 60 million jobs. And 1.5 million के jobs हर साल इसमें ऐड हो रहे हैं. तो you can imagine मतलब ये कितना huge figure है, right? Along with this, आप particularly अगर exports की बात करते हो, 40% of this is exports and this is 8,000 commodities to 192 countries. तो इस पे आप समझ पा रहे हैं कि इंडिया की ग्रोथ के लिए एक्सपोर्ट्स, SME एक्सपोर्ट्स सिग्निफिकेंटली कितना ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है, राइट. 30% ऑफ कॉन्ट्रीब्यूशन टू द GDP. इट्स अ सिग्निफिकेंट नंबर. Okay, so now I would like to take you all through where is the credit gap. I mean, we see that there is a credit gap among the entire community. तो हम ये देखते हैं कि मतलब SMEs को लिमिट्स वगैरह तो चाहिए, तो सबसे पहले किसके पास जाते हैं? दे गो टू अ बैंक. बैंक इज द मोस्ट फेमस लैंडिंग एजेंसी वी नो, राइट. बट जैसे ही दे गो टू अ बैंक, द फर्स्ट थिंग उनको जो पूछा जाता है कि सर कोलैटरल में क्या रखोगे, डू यू हैव लैंड, डू यू हैव मशीनरी. इसके वजह से उनको लिमिट्स इजीली नहीं मिल पाते हैं एंड देयर ग्रोथ इज स्टैग्नेंट. तो ये एक मेजर इशू हो जाता है. सेकेंड प्रॉब्लम ये होता है कि जैसे हम देख रहे हैं कि पिछले 4-5 सालों से या फिर एक 10 साल का ही आप एक एवरेज ले लीजिए, देर इज अ लॉट ऑफ कॉम्पिटिशन. मतलब देर आर प्लेयर्स इन द मार्केट हु आर रेडी टू इवन सेल एट लो प्राइजेस. सो द कॉम्पिटिशन इज वेरी हाई, मार्जिन्स बहुत स्लिम है, जिसके वजह से इनके फाइनेंशियल शायद अप टू द मार्क नहीं होंगे. सो दिस इज अनदर मेजर चैलेंज दैट SMEs फेस. Okay, now let us go into what are the challenges on the buyer side. अब अगर मुझे आज के तारीख में if I have to sell something, if I have to export something, there is no buyer in the world. कोई भी मुझे advance payment पे तो कोई माल नहीं देगा, right? I will have to give him some kind of credit period, तो he will have to give that to me. तो यहाँ पे आ गया है major challenge because SMEs are in the space where they do not have enough financials and enough working capital to support that entire 90-day or that 120-day period. This is the major challenge. Secondly, we see कि जैसे कुछ seasonal products होते हैं, ये products में there is a lot of demand. हम सोच के चलते कि चलो 3 महीने में पूरा cover कर लेंगे, but demand इतना आ गया आपके पास माल भी है, but probably due to cash flow issues आप ये execute नहीं कर पाते, right? तो अब मतलब आप बताओगे कि मतलब जब से निकित जी आए हैं सब प्रॉब्लम्स ही प्रॉब्लम्स बता रहे हैं, तो क्या है मतलब इसका सोल्यूशन क्या होगा, राइट? तो हियर वी प्रेजेंट टू यू ड्रिप कैपिटल. बेसिकली व्हाट वी डू इज हम करते हैं सुबह से, आई थिंक अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल हैव बीन टॉकिंग अबाउट बिल डिस्काउंटिंग. दैट्स एग्जैक्टली व्हाट वी डू. बिल डिस्काउंटिंग, एक्सपोर्ट फैक्टरिंग, इसके डिफरेंट टर्मिनोलॉजीज है. तो वी आर अ US बेस्ड कंपनी एंड यूजिंग टेक्नोलॉजी हम ये प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व कर रहे हैं. आप इंडिया की बात करो तो वी हैव presence in 3 major states, that is Mumbai, Delhi and Bangalore. And till date हमने 500 million से ज़्यादा रेस किया है. This includes Sequoia and Axel. And just like SME Chamber, हमारे दूसरे भी काफ़ी associations है with FIO, EPC and Plex Council to name a few. Some numbers about us. So till date हमने finance किया है more than 2.7 billion in global trade and 2,500 exporters आज के तारीख में are using our factoring service. Right? And ये ऐसा नहीं कि this is just across tier 1 or tier 2 cities. We are working with more than 60 plus cities and this is across 40 major buyer locations. Okay? तो अब what is it exactly? What is the whole process about? Export factoring, bill discounting, ये होता क्या है? Right? This is very simple. Let's say Ahmedabad में there is a simple exporter who is facing this challenge, the working capital issues because of the credit cycle. Right? हम उनके पास सिंपली जाएंगे, उनको बोलेंगे कि सर आप आपका जो इनवॉइस है वो इनवॉइस हमें दे दीजिए, हम आपको इनवॉइस के सामने फंड करेंगे 80% ऑन द वेरी फर्स्ट डे. ओके, तो फर्स्ट डे पे आपका जो मतलब मेजर चंक है वो आपके पास आ जाता है. ठीक है, अब बायर एंजॉय करेगा अपना क्रेडिट पीरियड, वो 90 दिन के एक दिन पहले भी आपको पे नहीं करेगा, राइट? 90 दिन बाद ये पेमेंट आएगा हमारे अकाउंट में, दैट इज ड्रिप कैपिटल्स अकाउंट. ओके, At this point of time हम अपने charges deduct करेंगे on this transaction and balance जो भी बचता है out of the 20% we will send this back. तो आप अगर ये arrow heads को closely follow करोगे आपको कहीं पे एक point नजर आएगा like a very important point that till the very last step मतलब 90 दिन तक I am not charging a single penny मतलब ना processing fees हुआ ना interest nothing. तो basically what I am saying is this is like a use and pay facility मतलब आप कहीं पे भी starting में pay नहीं कर रहे हो ऐसा मतलब काफ़ी frequently होता है right we pay the processing fees and then we realize it's not going to go through तो ऐसे issues नहीं होंगे आपके this is a commitment free facility this is a use and pay facility that we are giving you ठीक है अब what are the USPs of this product मतलब drip capital को आपको क्यों अपने ध्यान में रखना चाहिए ठीक है अब जैसे everyone has been telling since morning right unsecured working capital तो as I also mentioned मतलब SMEs this segment particularly has no collateral to pledge मतलब they are already working on slim margins their unsecured credit plays a major role ये हम इसमें एक एक्स्ट्रा चीज ला रहे हैं that is completely collateral free working capital okay and at one point of time एक maximum exposure हम लेंगे 2.5 million का तो around 18 to 20 CR का exposure हम लेंगे at a given point of time on your company ठीक है अब प्राइसिंग की बात करते हैं our pricing will be in the range of around 0.9% per month and this is inclusive of everything मतलब आपको इसमें insurance वगैरह भी कुछ extra मतलब exporters have to separately buy an ECGC cover or something like that right so we won't ask you to do that we will also provide you insurance coverage on your buyer okay again I think several people have spoken about technology being the major factor here for the future this is going to be a complete online process you would not need to face any kind of hard copy of documents courier में इधर उधर घूम रहे ये कुछ नहीं होगा this will be with minimum paperwork and a complete risk assessment automated risk assessment तो कहीं पे भी आपको अपना stock statement या hard copy of financials ये सब देने नहीं पड़ेंगे we will do the whole process digitally ठीक है this is just a small comparison that we have when we compare our product with banks तो banks जैसे आप देख रहे हो they have been doing this since ages मतलब it's not a new concept for them right but what they are focusing on and what is our target audience now banks if you see they are focusing on the cream customers so they want more business from customers जिनका turnover होता है more than 50 million मतलब जो बड़े cream customers होते हैं वो जबकि we drip capital हम छोटे businesses को बड़ा बनाने में उनकी help करना चाहते हैं so in our case if you see the minimum turnover that we want is just 1.5 CR annually exports so that is all that we require again the complete underwriting process that I mentioned totally digital we would be not taking any hard copy of documents everything would be in a totally digital format right collateral as I've been repeatedly saying no collateral we won't ask you to pledge any kind of property or any kind of machinery we would not ask you to do that and the whole process right from your first inquiry मतलब आपने आपके एंड से probably किसी ने बात किया होगा till the final disbursement ये पूरा process हम आपको खत्म करके दे देंगे in 7 to 10 days मतलब that's the shortest turnaround time that you can think of when it comes to lending right and evaluation criteria हमारा क्या होता है we look closely at the supplier performance as well as the buyer overseas तो बहुत केसेस में कहीं पे जहाँ पे आपको डाउट्स होते हैं कि ये बायर के साथ मैं काम करूँ कि नहीं वहाँ पे हम आपको गाइड कर देंगे कि सर मत कीजिए दिस इज द इंफॉर्मेशन दैट वी हैव रिसीव्ड ऑन दिस राइट अब हमारा ये प्रोसेस कैसा है मतलब व्हाट इज द मेथोडोलॉजी दैट वी फॉलो द प्रोसेस इज वेरी सिंपल इट्स अ वेरी 2 minute सिंपल एप्लीकेशन दैट यू हैव टू फिल इसमें लगेंगे मुझे आपके 3 बेसिक डिटेल्स आपका जो इम्पोर्ट एक्सपोर्ट कोड होता है वो आपका जो कंपनी का नाम है दैट एंड जस्ट योर कमोडिटी जो आप एक्सपोर्ट कर रहे हो दैट्स प्रीटी मच इट इसमें आपको ये बेसिस पे हम आपको बताएंगे कि हम आप पे कितना एक्सपोजर ले सकते हैं एंड वी कैन स्टार्ट वर्किंग आउट द प्रोसेस तो इसमें द थिंग इज दैट वी विल जस्ट शेयर एन इन प्रिंसिपल सैंक्शन लेटर विथ यू प्रोवाइडेड वंस यू स्टार्ट with the documentation process then it's just a simple digital journey आपके साथ अगेन डिजिटली हम अग्रीमेंट्स वगैरह भी शेयर करेंगे एंड आपके साथ एक पोर्टल हम देंगे जिससे आप ट्रैक कर पाओ कि आपके इनवॉइसेस कैसे और कब फंड हो रहे हैं राइट दिस इज द पोर्टल दैट वी एक्चुअली प्रोवाइड टू द एक्सपोर्टर तो इस पे अगर आप देख रहे हो तो इट बिकम्स अ वेरी सीमलेस जर्नी फॉर एन एक्सपोर्टर जैसे इनको किसी को आरएम को या कोई सेल्स वाले को कॉल करके पूछने की जरूरत नहीं है कि मतलब मेरा ट्रांजैक्शन का स्टेटस क्या है व्हाट्स हैपनिंग दे कैन डू इट एट द क्लिक ऑफ अ बटन मतलब दे आर एबल टू ट्रैक ऑल ऑफ देयर इनवॉइसेस व्हेन इज द पेमेंट ड्यू कब रिटर्न आएगा बायर से collections will also be our responsibility you won't have to get into that you can source more orders and increase your business ठीक है अब what is it that we are looking for हम इतना ही मांग रहे हैं कि आपका एक्सपोर्ट टर्नओवर होना चाहिए 1.5 CR का एनुअली, दैट्स 200K, एंड आपके जो पिछले 12 महीने के रिकॉर्ड है उसमें आपके 2 BRC क्लोजर्स हो जाने चाहिए, एंड our buyer countries list is pretty much more than what the other lenders operate. तो US UK तो सभी करते हैं, मतलब these are the major regions, but we even go to the extent of doing Africa and Latin America. तो हम ये regions पे भी आपको export factoring करके देंगे. The only things that we don't do are US sanctioned countries, Somalia, Afghanistan वगैरह. I'm very sure nobody is currently doing that, right? And negative commodities, so there are around 2 to 3 things that we won't fund. So these are basically आपके जो fresh fruits वगैरह होते हैं, perishable, gems and jewelry वगैरह. So these are our negative segments for us. So this is just an example of how an exporter who has been working with DRIP, one of our initial first customers in Gujarat, and the export segment, जैसे हम आप देख रहे हैं तो मतलब we are seeing that the export community in India is typically growing at a CAGR of around 3%. इसमें भी अगर आप SMEs, MSMEs की बात करोगे तो थोड़ा faster growth है because of government incentives and schemes. तो 7.5, 7.25 के speed पे growth हो रहा है. But the companies, we are very happy to talk about this, the companies that DRIP works with, they are growing at a much faster rate because the solution is obvious. I mean, we are helping them with their working capital cycle. We are helping them to take on more orders, and उनके जो first time transactions हैं हम वो भी cover कर रहे हैं. मतलब इस पे track record की भी आपकी ज़रूरत नहीं पड़ेगी, right? This is just about us in the news. I mean, we have been in the Indian market since close to now around 5 years. We are working with more than 2,500 exporters pan-India, and yeah, these are the various cities that we are located. तो 2,500 plus exporters across 60 cities, and इसमें अगर आप देख रहे हो तो there are very small cities as well which don't much come into the limelight, but they have also adopted this digital practice. ये हमारे कुछ segments है which we very actively work with. तो these include garments, leather goods, agri commodities. जैसे आप देख रहे हो तो COVID के बाद has seen a phenomenal rise, so this is one of them. Plastic goods, chemicals, frozen food, seafood का बहुत ज़्यादा demand है when it comes to countries like China, Vietnam. So ये सारे transactions हम करेंगे, and payment modes की बात करते हैं तो we can do DA, DP, open account, CAD. So pretty much जो भी आपके payment modes होते हैं with exporters, we can cover all of that till a maximum tenure of 120 days. ठीक है? Recently we have also started the services segment. अगर ऐसी कोई IT company है या फिर if there is a consultancy firm that is supplying manpower overseas, so we can even go to the extent of funding those invoices as well. Right? We have our office in Mumbai. Along with that, we have regional teams working out of all locations. So this is our US office address. Closing note पे I think मैं ये बताना चाहूँगा कि 2 साल से we've all faced a lot of problems, but I think the future is very bright. जैसे I still have 1 minute, so I'll just conclude. The future is very bright. I think नितिन गडकरी जी भी एक हमारे लिए एक विजन देखा है उन्होंने कि 2025 में probably 30% का जो contribution है अभी towards the GDP, इसको 50 कैसे बनाएं, इसको 50 तक लेके जाना है, तभी हमारा इकोनॉमी बढ़ेगा. अब ये 50 कैसे बढ़ेगा? ये 50 में जहाँ तक हमें लगता है 2 चीज़ें will be very important. One is technology का use. I think everything is going digital. Technology will be very important. Second होता है access to credit. If companies, if SMEs, MSMEs को right credit का access मिला, तो they will definitely flourish. And if everything flourishes, I think हम सारे trade ecosystem के part है. I think we will all flourish and grow together. So yeah, thanks. Thank you so much.
Now I would like to invite Mr. Apurva Agarwal, founding partner, Universal Legal, and he'll be speaking on business and legal advisory services for the benefits of manufacturing and SME sector. Can we have a huge round of applause for him? Thank you.
Okay. How many people, what do you think a lawyer's role is? Go to courts or something else? Settlement. I'll just share an anecdote. You know, when I was getting married, and my wife is here today, in the courtship period, she asked me, when do you go to court? I made a statement that I don't go to court. The next question was, how do you make money? I will attempt to answer that question in front of you all today, how we make money, apart from not going to courts. Okay, guys, so off we go. What are problems which the MSE and SME face from a legal perspective? Cost and time constraints that result in complying with a bundle of regulations, lack of proper knowledge in terms of legal compliance, and therefore being fined and penalized for the same. So what we do is, and also the intellectual property which all the SMEs and MSMEs create, example you, the technology and the IT which you create, how do we protect that? That is a lawyer's job. That's where we step in. So we help these challenges to turn out to be meaningful change and to be a commodity for your product and economic worth. With the help from lawyers, MSMEs and SMEs are free to drive their business and can focus on the business per se and not focus on the compliance work at all. Leave that to us lawyers. We follow the standard procedures as per the law so that you're technically compliant and there's no hassle and no government body or no licensing Raj, people coming and chasing you. You haven't done this under Factories Act, you haven't done this under Borders Act, blah, 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 license which you've heard from before. We support the lawyers. We are the lawyers. We support SMEs and SMEs and entrepreneurs to take critical decisions today so that you don't go into bad debt tomorrow. And we have the power and potential that can create a mechanism that help businesses and enterprises to make conceivable growth and move forward as they are the support system for the business and enterprise. So please don't treat law as a cost to your business, but an investment and a partner in your business. Some of the areas where we can help you directly is, one, get your registration under the MSME Act of 2006, which will help you to get MSME investments from the government. Also, incorporation of the legal entity under the Companies Act and the LLP Act, which very few people will advise you properly. Why this is important, unless you don't have a proper legal entity, nobody's going to fund you or nobody's going to get you the work on the table. Then the advisory role which you play is the core expertise of the lawyer in terms of the experience which we have. And a good advisor will obviously lead the business to reach great heights. Drafting of contracts. In fact, during the lunch break and some time earlier, people were asking me, do you help in drafting contracts? Especially when there's a cross-border transaction happening or you're dealing with cross-border people. Yes, it's a process of presenting your thoughts into words. What you're thinking, translate that into reality in black and white. It's a tool of writing out the terms and details of the contract to outline the legal obligations of two or more parties, which we make it very crystal clear so there's no dispute later on. We can draft simple, effective, and understandable contract in a layman's term that define the respective duties of the parties to avoid future conflict. We are the ones who give the vaccination to you so that you don't fall sick tomorrow. We've been talking about payments delay, drip capital will come and finance you. We've got other guys who will do the bill discounting. But what if the payment does get delayed? Things like that do happen and it will continue to happen. We help you to get those recovery money done through the MSC platform, through the government and MSME courts. Okay? And that is the most important benefit which you can derive by getting the MSME registration through us. Then there's another clause which we take help with the Arbitration Act 1996. Under the MSD Acts, we can go through the Arbitration Act and also the MSC Act, which can get to payment within 45 days in case of delay and conflict. I'll skip this. Intellectual property rights. Now, that's broadly three types of intellectual property rights which are prevalent for SMEs and MSMEs. Copyright, trademarks, patents. All of them are registrable and should get registered. There's another concept called trade secrets. It's very common in the US and other countries, but not very much common in India, but we can facilitate that also. Assist in commercialization of intellectual property rights. That is by giving licenses of your IP rights to third party to exploit and you earn a license fee out of that. getting remedies for infringements of IPR, and how to file a suit in the court of law to get your remedies. Compliances we already talked about, and the Companies Act, LLP Act are the two primary acts which will govern you, and the Partnership Act 1992. We also help you to decode the complex laws and do all the compliance in an important manner to avoid penal provisions and litigation to various enterprises. Who are we? We are a firm, Universal Legal, based out of Bombay. Founded in 2004, first generation lawyers, no baggage carried, focus on the legal work and quality service. With the rising stress on innovation, companies have been looking to establish efficient and lean business processes that foster agility, commitment, quality, creativity, and efficiency. Therefore, we came in existence to provide that. We come from the bigger law firms, Anderson Luthra, got together, let's do it at a more efficient manner so that the SMEs can come to us on a one-to-one basis and not go through a lot of other juniors. With an office in Bombay and associates across the country and abroad, we have structured a firm that allows us to be completely dedicated to our clients with agility and dynamism that businesses seek today. We take the time to get to know clients and their goals and go the extra mile to get the job done. Some of the areas which we expertise are corporate and commercial, mergers and acquisition, FDI, IP, IT, real estate, dispute resolution, and private client, what we call succession planning. Our approach is to give practical advice and to support clients, especially who tend to and are doing business in the Indian market. Endeavor to simplify the challenging process of understanding the legal and regulatory environment in India. We've done various transactions in the business commercial space on behalf of VC funds, PE funds, banks, financial institutions, acquirers and sellers in transactions, including conducting comprehensive legal diligence and corporate audits to say that you're legally compliant. Also represent clients' instruction, draft, negotiating, and financing or transaction-based documents. Our IP practice is broad-ranging from all aspects of patent, trademark, and copyright, and we take a full range of IP services, audit, including procedural filings, registration, searches, inspection, protection, enforcement, and the whole go. In real estate, we advise and structure, negotiate, document, and execute real estate transactions head-to-head, end-to-end. We assist developers and the buyers to acquire all your GIDC lands, industrial lands, and your offices and commercial spaces. Estate planning is something which we've started doing, where we, the earlier generation which could not think about how to plan your estate so that it passes from one generation to the next generation without any legal hassle and with minimum tax implication. This way what happens, your business will not suffer in case of a demise of the patriarch of the family and the owner of the business. Dispute resolution, recovery of money is a big concern, where we have a small area of practice related to that, including arbitration and recovery matters in the various courts of law. So that's what we are, and this is where we may reach.
Joseph C. Lebas, Junior Chairman, India, US SME Business Council, USA Region, and MD and founder, Concord Group of Holdings. And he'll be talking on emerging business and investment opportunities in the United States of America. Can we have a huge round of applause for him?
Kimcho Ahmedabad. That's as far as I go in Gujarati this afternoon, so thank you for indulging me. So, it's good to be back here. This is my first trip back since Corona started, but I have been coming to India for 22 years. To say that India is in my heart is quite an understatement. I've had the good fortune and blessing to be working alongside many colleagues in India. I, again, had the good fortune to build technology companies. We now have a technology-enabled commercial real estate diversified firm in the Southeast U.S. And of course, I have this role now that I'm very proud of, enabling SMEs in both the United States and India. I think I'm going to share a statistic that maybe you don't know, but you won't be surprised of, that Gujarat has 6% of the Indian population, but has 20% of the Indian American population. So I think everyone in this room probably has a cousin or a relative that lives in the United States. So if I get lonely of being away from Gujarat, I think I can go to New Jersey or Dallas or Chicago and find a Gujarati, I'm sure. But you know, it's been a great day, and I know we're here at the tail end. But you know, there's a lot of I've had a lot of great conversations already in my few days here, and I'm anxious to get back. But I want to speak about really what is the opportunity here, and I think a lot of our speakers have spoke with a lot of vigor, and that's what I would expect in returning to Gujarat. But there is a lot of opportunity to take your business and take it to the next level in the United States. And that is what our council, our business council, is looking to do. But in the same function, you might be at different stages in your business. Maybe you're ready to take your manufacturing and your pharmaceutical, your technology business, and set up an affiliate. Now, what does that affiliate look like? Is it a manufacturing facility, or is it just a sales and distribution facility? But just like anything, you know, the United States is a world away, even if you do have that cousin there, and you don't know where to start. That really is the function of our business council, because just as our legal friend says here, there's a lot of ramifications. It's just as if I was to start a business here in Gujarat, I wouldn't know necessarily where to start, but thankfully I have the chamber here to help me. So, just a moment. What our council really does is enable the marketing, the channelization of finance. We've heard from a lot of banking partners here today. But there's also maybe a misnomer that manufacturing is more expensive or more complex in the United States. And I've also spoken to many companies who already have, Indian companies that have manufacturing facilities in the United States. The United States is looking to stimulate job growth. It's looking to stimulate manufacturing back within its borders. And there's a number of state and local municipalities that are offering quite aggressive tax incentives. So depending on where you are in your company's evolution, we can work with you and provide basically an impartial and strategic look at maybe it does make sense to set up a manufacturing facility or an engineering facility or just perhaps a distribution or a sales and marketing facility. And then what comes next? The incorporation, setting a legal structure up, the HR consultancy that comes with it, right? How do you do hire American workers and understand the HR ramifications? These are all matters that need to be done properly the first time. And I know it's, I just had a conversation before I got on the stage here that, well, geez, I don't want to hire an American lawyer that might be too expensive, or, they're going to treat me differently coming from abroad. Well, that's where we step into the void and provide those support services, that hand-holding, that bridge across. That's, I am a career SME, if you will. Started 4 companies, and when we are in our businesses, we focus within our 4 walls. But I'm here to tell you, now is the opportunity to drive some drastic change. out there in the marketplace. Even though I do respect our friend the economist, you know, you can sometimes look bleak with interest rates and so on, but there is good opportunity out there in the United States. We're continuing to be a growth market, a consuming market, and I believe we'll get through these headwinds no matter what. So, you know, there's taxation considerations to consider as well. And then I'd be remiss in also mentioning immigration. I think because we're here in Gujarat, everybody has probably heard of visas, green cards, and even EB-5, right? I mean, I have a friend that is in the EB-5 program. I think Gujarat is probably leading India in EB-5 visas filed. I'm here to tell you that there is a benefit that's probably not shared with you all very often from the folks that roll through Gujarat offering EB-5, is that you don't need to invest in somebody else's project to get an EB-5 visa. You can invest in your own project when you go to the United States, create the 10 jobs yourself, and get an EB-5 visa. Now again, that might not be what your business is ready for, but why give the money to somebody else's project, an American developer, when you can literally set up a subsidiary of your own, hire the American workers and employ them for 3 years and get your own green card for you and your family. So these are all the functions we bring to bear as the council, again, as an impartial and strategic partner to help you plan to maximize your opportunity in the U.S. And I'd be remiss in also saying the other function is for the U.S. SMEs that are looking to bring their businesses back to India. It's no secret that U.S. SMEs are really analyzing their current partners and suppliers, and there's really no desire to continue with the other large manufacturing base, China, that being China, on price, quality, or political prisms. So we're trying to stimulate the other way to find joint venture alliance partners here in India as we're trying to support India SMEs the other way. So thanks for all of you who I've met, and please, we can continue to work together through the chamber here and my good friend Sri Chandrakant, who I've known several years. We have great opportunities ahead of us, and you'll continue to see me. I'm here in India every 2 to 3 months, and every time I'm here, I'm energized again and again after hearing the speakers today. So thank you, and God bless all of you.
LIC of India, and she'll be speaking on LIC pension and group schemes, advantages and benefits. Can we have a huge round of applause for her?
I am Pragna Vinod Rai Thakur. I am a senior branch manager LIC. I am representing one of the largest insurance company in India. Now, I've been given this platform because I'm working for a department which is known as Pension and Group Scheme Department, and in local words you should say it is known as a corporate solutions. We offer products which are of the type gratuity, which is, I think, I need not give any introduction, but it is a statutory compliance for all of us. Any employer who is having more than 10 employees in their organization, I again repeat, 10 employees in their organization, it is a statutory compliance to have a gratuity for its employees. Now, shall I? Yeah. Now, what is gratuity? I think it need not need any introduction, but then in just a few words, I'll be saying it. Gratuity is a type of benefit, employee benefit, which is given to by an employer to an employee if he completes. Right now, the Act says 5 years of continuous service to the employer. Okay. Now, it has been 5 years of continuous service. If an employee is putting into the employer has a binding to give a gratuity. Now, gratuity will be given only on the last drawn salary of the employee. So, as and whenever he resigns, he has to be given a salary of 15 days for actual service which he has put in for each year. Like if it is 5 years, it will be 15 into 5, that is 75 days of 75 days of gratuity which he needs to put in and which the employer is bound to give. Now, it increases with increase in salary. Definitely an employer will be giving an increase in the salary for the employees every year. Then it increases with the years of service which he's put in. Then it increases with wage revisions. I mean, that is not. And increases in the maximum liability. Right now, the Gratuity Act states that the maximum gratuity which is to be given as per the Gratuity Act 1972 is 20 lakhs. An employer can give more than 20 lakhs, but the minimum should be at least 20 lakhs. If the salary permits, like if you have a basic of say 1 lakh, then you get for 20 years of service straight away 20 lakhs, right? Now, there are two ways of paying gratuity. One is as you pay as you go method, and the other one is an advance preparation. Now, pay as you go method is as and when the liability comes, you give it from your own account, from your profit and loss account, and finish it off, okay? But what happens in that case? In that case, you are not certain what will be your actual profit, because this can arise at any moment of time. Tomorrow, if your employee says, I want to leave, you cannot stop him, right? So this is not a prudent practice of paying gratuity. The other one is advance preparation. Now, how is this advance preparation done? Now, advance preparation is that you approach any insurance company and you say that I want a gratuity scheme. Now, what happens when you approach any insurance company and you say that you want a gratuity scheme for its employees, definitely you have to share your data, which contains date of birth, date of joining, and your basic, because gratuity is payable only on basic. Okay? So then he will work out an actuarial valuation, give it to you, and accordingly you need to pay the insurance company. This is the normal practice which is there in the market. One important aspect is why to go with LIC? Why not with other insurance companies? LIC, from the years which we are, I'm working with this organization since the last 30 years. And in this vertical, I'm working since more than 22 years. So I know it. Why LIC? Now, what happens when an employee is working with you, as and when gratuity increases with increase in liability, but in case of an unfortunate event to the employee, if you are in a pay-as-you-go method, or if you are in any insurance company, what will happen? The number of years of service which he has put in, that much amount is given, right? And your liability is over. What LIC does? The balance period of service, that is anticipated gratuity which we say, is given by LIC to the nominee of the employee at the salary when he is no more. Okay, so what happens? That the employee's nominee gets the benefit of the accrued gratuity. Accrued gratuity means the service which he has put in, plus the anticipated gratuity had he lived up to his normal retirement age, and had he worked with you for those many number of years and he would have retired, he would have got that gratuity, right? So he will be getting a combination of anticipated gratuity plus accrued gratuity. So his nominees will feel that he has not died, but he has retired from his services. This is the USP of our product. Okay. Now what happens? We have a systematic way of funding gratuity. Every year, you need to share the data with us. We will be working out the gratuity valuation liability. Now, I think AS15 is most common over here in all. As per the Accounting Standard 15, an employer has to provide for 1 year service liability of all the employees of the organization. Okay? So we bifurcate it into the past service as well as 1 year service. What is past service? The number of years he has put in your organization, that will be your actual liability which the employer needs to pay. The balance 1 year service is an advance preparation. Suppose he resigns midway, then you need to pay him the past service as well as that 1 year service. So this is the way which we go on for funding of liability. Now, while doing the funding of liability, since we are giving you anticipated gratuity, that is the number of years which he has put in, which he was supposed to put in before normal retirement age, we are charging you a premium. But the premium which is charged, it is charged as a whole of a group. Means if you have employees of the age of 35 or of the age of 40, it hardly comes to roundabout for an employee strength of 1,000 employees, say, or forget about 1,000, we'll say it as 100. An employee strength of 100, you will get all the employees together covered under the anticipated gratuity for a premium of not more than 30,000. So all the employees are covered for up till their normal retirement age for that particular year for this much premium. Okay. Now when when you all are paying us the gratuity amount, the contribution, the 1 year gratuity of the employees, we are giving you interest. Now this interest, which is ranging from, right now our minimum rate of interest is 6.75 and the maximum rate of interest is 7.25. Okay. So it depends on the funds which is given by you. And these all are income tax exempted totally. The contributions which you are paying, any contribution paid towards gratuity is exempted from tax till the amount of 8.33% of your annual wage bill. Okay. Now, the approval part of it. Anything which is exempted from tax, you have to inform the tax authorities. So a trust deed is formed. The trust deed which is formed will contain the experts from the Gratuity Act 1972, which is prepared, which we assist in preparing you. We will require the names of any 3 employees who will act as trustees to the scheme. Okay. The entire preparation of paperwork which is done by us will assist you in getting the exemption from. We will help you in getting the exemption, but we don't interact between you and the tax authorities. Now what happens when the contribution which is given by you, the interest which is earned by which we give it to you is added to the fund and the entire amount will be treated as your corpus. But this corpus will be totally for the benefits of the employees. Okay? Now, as I said, it is with the anticipated gratuity which we are giving you. And I quoted an example where the premium will be this much. This provides for a life cover totally for the employees at a very low cost. Because if suppose a person has died and he is having 30,000 as his basic on his death and he has still 20 more years to go, then he will be having 30,000 into 20 into 15 days of salary for each completed year of service. So the balance period of service, if it is left as 20 days, then it will be 30,000 into 20 into 15 divided by 26. This will be the amount which will be paid by LIC to the nominee if he has 20 years of service left with him. Now, this is an example of how, as I said, the insurance is done. Now, age at joining is suppose is 25 years. Salary, that is basic, is 25,000. Retirement age is 58 years. And age at death is 31 years. Okay? So, he has put in 6 years of service. Outstanding service left with him is 27 years. As on his, if the normal retirement age is considered to be 58 years. Now, gratuity payable by the employer will be 15 divided by 26. 15 days of salary for each completed year of service is mentioned in the Act. That is the minimum which you can give. So, 15 divided by 26 into 6 years which is completed and 25,000, that works out to be 86,538, right? Now, the gratuity insurance for future service. This is the amount which is paid by LIC to the nominee without even touching your fund. So, the employer is paying 86,000 whereas LIC is paying them 3,89,000. The total amount which is paid to the nominee will be 4,75,000. Had you not taken a scheme with LIC, the nominee would have just got 86,538. Right? The family is supported by an insurance of rupees 3.89. Unique advantage with LIC. Only public sector life insurance company in the country. We enjoy a sovereign guarantee. It's the only insurance company which enjoys the sovereign guarantee under Section 37 of the Act 1956. We have a lot of corporate houses which are with us. Name any of the corporate houses, everyone is with. I think 99% of it we are covering it, right? Most trusted brand and end-to-end service, because we are having 72 offices pan-India which are in this vertical, which are doing pension and group scheme business, and in normal language which you can say it as corporate solutions department. Now, what is the implementation process when you go in with a gratuity? One is that board resolution is required that you are taking, you are handing over your gratuity liability to LIC. Okay? Then valuation based on employees' data submitted. I said as required, date of birth, date of joining, and basic which you have to give it to us so that we can run out the actuarial valuation. Execution of trust deed and rules. I told you we support in providing you the paperwork which is to be done to be submitted to the income tax department. Then apply to CIT with a PAN number for approval of the trust. Submission of master proposal. There has to be a proposal which we have given it to you, that you all are entering into a scheme with LIC. That is a normal procedure which is to be done. Opening of a bank account. One more thing, any amount which is exempted from tax for the purpose of it, you have to exclusively open a gratuity trust in the name of the company. So, if the name of the company is say ABC, it will be ABC Employees Gratuity Trust. Okay. Deposit contribution based on the quotation valuation. Carry on? Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. This is one scheme. Just a few minutes for another one. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, thank you. Now, along with it, we have one more product which I would like to, right now in the pandemic times, which was very useful and which LIC supported during the corona wave, that is pure term insurance plan. LIC offers an employee as well as a cooperative sector or anything which is covered with the group term insurance plan. Okay, this term insurance plan, LIC's now, nature of the scheme. It provides life cover to the employees at a minimum cost. This is a pure term insurance plan for the employees of an organization. The amount which is paid by the employer to cover the employees is also exempted from tax. Okay. Now this is a pure term plan which is given at the rate of LIC provides an insurance cover of 5 times of the annual CTC of the employees. Okay. So 5 times of the annual CTC will be taken as a cover of the employee for what he is eligible. There are there are 2 types of insurance plans which we have. One is called as the employees group insurance plan and the other is called as the other group insurance plan. Those with cooperative societies can go in for the members of the loanees also as an insurance. The amount of outstanding loan which they have then also be covered under this group. So there are 2 types of it. But in that, we offer maximum insurance is 5 lakhs. We have a third section which is also known as the students group insurance plan, where the students are also covered from the age of 8 up to age 30 at a nominal premium of ₹1 per 1000. So for 1 rupee per 1000 sum assured, we are offering this group insurance plan exclusively meant for the students. Okay. Yeah. Now, one of the important part over here is mid-joiners shall be admitted into the scheme of the premium paid and proportionate premium is taken. Once you take an insurance policy with us, you have many people who are joining and leaving in the organization. So what happens, the one who are leaving the organization, after once you have started the scheme, suppose say you have started the scheme in LIC at the 1st of September. And as on this 1st of October or in between during these days, the employee has left. The balance period which is left, we will be refunding it to you because the cover ends over there as soon as he is resigned from the organization. He enjoys this benefit only and only till he is your employee. If he is joining in between, so for the period of in between, he gets a cover, proportionate premium we are charging. Suppose his premium is for an employee who has started with you right from the beginning is 3,000 rupees, and the person who has joined after him of the same age group, same salary, and he has joined a month later, then his premium will be taken as proportionate, but he will be covered. And we have very simple rules of settling a group term insurance plan. We just require one form which has to be filled in where the employer admits that he was an employee of the organization and he has died, and he had died during this death, and he has recognized the employee. One is the death certificate. These are the 2 forms which we require normally while settling in the claims of the group term insurance plan. Okay. We have almost all the corporate offices taking this plan. Recently only we had Bank of Baroda, Pan India of 80,000 employees being covered under the employees group insurance of Bank of Baroda with a premium of 80,000 employees with a cover of 20 lakhs and a premium was just 63 crores. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Director, Resurgent India Limited, all वो बात करेंगे supporting manufacturing and SMEs for business growth. Role of Resurgent India. Can we have huge round of applause for him?
Yeah. Friends, I think I would like to congratulate to SME Chamber of India, I think Chandrakant ji, to organize this conference. And it is a most successful conference in this current scenario. You see, after COVID, I think most of the conferences and our seminars are happening on the online tools. But organizing this conference, and I've seen that hall was full in the morning, and even at 4:30 something, more than 50% people are here. It shows that in Gujarat, people are very serious about the business. although we know that Gujarat is the progressive state. So this is really remarkable that we have this much number of people who have attended the program and you are still serious to listen. I think more than 20 speakers have already spoken since morning, but still you are interested to listen the new things, what is happening in the different organization, what are the solutions for us. So great, sir. So I am from Resurgent India, and Resurgent India Limited is a merchant banking or investment banking firm. We are providing many solutions to the large corporate and to the SMEs, and which includes the debt solutions. So I think we have listened many bankers since morning. So for reaching to the bank and to dealing with them also, you need somebody who can help you to prepare the project report, TB study, to prepare the proposal, to guide you to structure. Because at BF listened, Bank of Baroda, they were saying that many times whenever the SMEs are coming with the proposal, they are not fully prepared as per the requirement of the bank. So this is one solution which we are providing across the country to the large and medium players and the small players also. That's the one solution. The another solution which we provide the valuation. So we do a lot of valuations for all requirement, whether asset valuation or business valuation. Other than that, we do the TV reports. So we are empaneled with all the banks. So whenever you are setting up new project in the country, we are there to help you to prepare the TV report, which should be acceptable by the banks, because we are giving our recommendation, but this project is viable or not viable actually. So this is another practice. And the fourth practice which we do the investment banking solutions, where we help SMEs and the larger player in the private equity, venture capital and M&A requirement. We have done many transactions in that side. And the last one is the IBC practice, where we help, because in the country you have seen a lot of NPAs are there, a lot of companies are struggling for the resolution. So we are the resolution professional also, we are providing the resolution also. So friends, I'll run through my PPT. I will not take much of the time because I am the last but not the least. But I'll try to give you some solutions which will be helpful for you. So friends, although I've told you that we are into many solutions, but I'll cover today the most important part of the entire business and growth, because today's topic is business growth actually. So that is the equity, because that we have already listened to many bankers, many other agencies. They have given the solutions to you. But as you know, it is very important that whenever we are going for raising debt, equity should be sufficient. Otherwise, we will not be in a position to get the debt also. So balancing is needed. वो इंसाफ का तराजू देगा, अगर वो उसका बैलेंस का पड़ रहा है इधर से उधर होगा, तो वो then there will be a problem to the organization. So I'll talk about the equity part, private equity or SME IPO. So friends, I think we have already seen this in the morning also, that what is the definition of SME. But I will just add one thing, that now the organizations which are into trading also, they are also covered into MSME. Earlier this was not covered. So 95% of the companies or the organization which are in India are covered into MSME definition. So that's a big thing, that we all are covered in the MSME. So whether we are doing service sector organization, or we are into manufacturing, or we are trader, everybody is covered into MSME. So that's a big thing, that government has enhanced or enlarged the definition, and up to 250 crore of turnover, they all are covered into MSME or SME. This is a number, I think everybody is quoting different number, but we have tried to find out a number from some reliable source, that almost 6 crore plus MSMEs are there in the country. Out of that, I think the micro is major, but if you see the small is also having a big size in the overall MSME space. The contribution to GDP, I think everybody has spoken that you are contributing a lot. So I always say that SMEs are basically superstar masters of the economy. So practically they are not SME, you are contributing a lot into the economy by way of GDP contribution, or the export contribution, or maybe in the online payment actually, which is a new thing, digital payment. So SMEs are contributing a lot in the online payments. If you have seen, as of today, you'll go in a small village and you are buying the tea, then the tea wala will say that I will take the payment through UPI. So this is I think power of the online, and the MSMEs are contributing a lot. So I'll come on the sources of funds, as we have discussed that the debt and equity both are important, but I'll just give you the scenario. how the SMEs are growing in their the life cycle. So self-funding, which is, I think everybody has started starting from their own money, but there is a limitation actually. Again, when after self-funding is utilized, then people are going to ask from their relatives and friends. That is also having a limitation. Then you are generating profit from your business, then you are putting that profit in your business, which is helping you. Then you are going to the bank. So after that, you are going to the banks and NBFCs for raising debt. Then there is a challenge of, I think we have discussed already, the collateral issues are there, then personal guarantee has to be given. So there are many things which you have to consider before going to the bank, and the bank interest is charged. When you are sleeping, the interest is charged to you actually. So your industry is working, not working, bank is not concerned actually. Then the private equity or venture capital actually. So private capital and venture capital or private equity is helping you in many ways. One is that we are talking about the growth, business growth. So we have reached to a stage where you are having all the sources of money which you have already utilized. Then you need somebody who can come as a partner and help you in your growth actually. So private equity not taking any collateral security, they are not taking any personal guarantee from you. They are giving you unsecured money in your business and they are helping you in the growth. They are partner actually. It's like husband-wife relationship. So they are always be supporting to each other actually. So there are different forms of private equity where whenever you are going to raise private equity, so it's a direct equity which you all have on your business actually. Then it can be a convertible instruments, either in the form of convertible debenture or in the convertible preference shares. These are structured instruments where it helps you depend on the stage where you are and depend on money which you need. It can be structured according to that. So the private equity, the preference shares and debentures are majorly used when you are looking for higher growth and you don't want to dilute much of the equity at the initial stage. So there can be a structure where you can take money in the shape of preference shares or convertible debentures, and after reaching a certain stage, to reaching a certain growth, you have shown the good profits, then it will be converted. So you are not losing in terms of your valuation or in terms of your equity much. So the debt, I think there's two sources you know very well, banks and NBFC, but there are venture debts also. So the venture debt are having a lot of money. So many times you need debt for the unconventional requirements. Working capital and term loan you are getting from the banks, but whenever you need money for the corporate loan, you need money for acquisition of any company or any business, you need money for storing of working capital. There are many things are there, and in COVID also we have seen that our working capital cycle has increased because of the raw material cost has increased, the debtors money is not coming. So you need some money which can help you to grow faster and which can be available from the market. So these venture debt funds are there, those are helping. So we are having the tie-up with all these venture funds. So we can take you to the venture fund for raising money. What are the challenges faced by the PE funds whenever they are putting money in the MSME companies or SME companies? Many times we have seen there duplicate records are there, the transparency issues are there, which need to be addressed before reaching to any private equity fund or venture capital. Many times we have seen that people are doing the business, the father and grandfather started the business and has now come into the business, but he want to go further or go fast, but the parents are not very much keen to dilute the equity actually. So these are the issues which are there still in India, because we are traditional people actually, we always believe keeping everything with us. So this is the another aspect which need to be taken care in the family before reaching to the private equity fund and venture capital, whether we want to dilute or we are not to dilute. Then there are other issues also, the faster growth, because whenever the fund will come, they will look for faster growth. And many times there are expenses which are personal and the official expenses, both are mixed. Then the valuation, I think this is the most important part actually. So the expectation of the founders or the promoters is entirely different than the whatever the company the funds are looking for. So these are all issues which are facing by the private equity fund, which we have jotted down after our experience from these funds. We need to address these issues before reaching to any investor. And so again, this we have to see what generally these funds are looking for. They are looking for the experience of the founders or the promoters, what their success story is, the company, where the market size of that company or the industry, because they don't want to fund in a industry where the market size is very small. Then the future projections, the financial model is very, very important, which should be very, very well elaborated. Then competition, who are the other players, what are their valuation, and the economic environment. In the current environment, there are a lot of challenges are there because of rates are high and the geopolitical also issues are there. But still they are taking call, keeping in mind the particular sector, particular industry. Types of equity investors, so angel funds are there, which are meeting your requirement at the time of initial money which you need from the market. Then the angel funds are helping you. Then the venture capital funds are there. They are coming after the angel fund. They are coming for your growth. They are taking high risk, then high returns are expected. And then the private equity are coming, which is they are basically looking to invest at the time of some growth stage. Actually, whenever you reach to a turnover, maybe 100 plus crore or maybe 200 crore plus turnover, then they are looking to invest in your company. So the process, we have to prepare ourselves. That is very, very important. So for preparation, we have the complete business model, complete financial model. We should know our valuation also. You need some agency who can help you on all these aspects. Then identification of investor. This is very important actually. As I told you, this is a marriage actually. When you are having husband and wife, then the selection is very important because it's a long story or long life actually, which you have to live together actually. So as the investor has right to choose you, you also have the right to choose the investor. So before finalizing any investor, you have to see what is the mandate of the investor, whether he has this experience of investing in this kind of industry, whether they have experts, can they help you in bringing the business or partnerships, or what is the fund life actually. That is very important. Many times I have seen the mistakes which people have done. They have reached to the investor which is at the last leg, because these investors are raising money from the market for certain time frame. So suppose the fund life is for 7 years and you have taken money at the 5 year of the fund life actually, you will have very less period to continue with that fund. So after 2 years, either you have to exit from the IPO or you have to find out the another investor. So these things are very, very important, which need to be seen before finalizing any investor. Negotiations, I think this is a very important part again, where because it's a equity which you are diluting and this is your shareholding, so you should always try to get whatever the best valuation can be done. So this will help you, so we can help you in that negotiations. Due diligence, again we need to be prepared for that, because whenever any investor is coming, they have to have all these due diligences. So our contract, our agreements, our other financials and everything should be proper. Otherwise, it will be very difficult to get them on board. Closure, so these are very important. Lawyers friends are here. So they are helping a lot whenever the SHA has to be drafted, agreement to be drafted. There should not be any challenge later on to the company in terms of any clause should not be detrimental to the growth of the company. So this is the total investment in the country. So if you see that chart, every year the number is increasing. So a lot of investors are putting money in the SME space in the country. So advantage, as I told you, this is not a loan, no collateral required, no personal guarantee required, and no fixed return are to be given. So these are the advantage, and they are partner in your growth actually. This is one thing which I would like to highlight, and from the SME point of view, the government of India has announced 10,000 crore SME fund, where first time in the country, the government has announced that they will invest 10,000 crore in the SMEs as equity. And this 10,000 crore will be given to the daughter funds, the funds which are investing in the companies. And they have to bring 40,000 crore additional from their own sources. This will be 50,000 crore, which will be given to the SMEs. And this has happened only before 6 months when they started operating. And till now, they have given money to 25 funds in India for investing in the SME. So I think this was not there earlier in the country, and you people can take the advantage of it, where the lot of money will be available for the SMEs. And that we have estimated that this 50,000 crore will come from the funds, and you can leverage further. So then maybe 3 times leverage, then you will be having 2 lakh crore of funding, which will be available in the country for the SMEs for next 5 years. So this is a very good opportunity. I think we should grab it. We should take it. It will help you for your future growth also. Road aid, that government has done many announcements. This Atmanirbhar Bharat, where the SMEs are given the opportunity to generate the assets in the country to manufacture and all. So friends, about Resurgent, we are an old company. We have started in 2005 and we have Pan-India presence. We have done many transactions in the SME space, so I'll just come quickly on that. So we have helped many companies in the, so like company called Manevar, you must have heard the Vedant Fashion. They were SME when we raised money for them. We raised 250 crore money and they have reached to a stage where they have come out with IPO. They have given very good exit to their investor, B-Mart Retail. So there are many names which we have created where they were the SME and they have raised money and they have become the large corporate now actually. Even I think I will run through that AV if you can see the voice, the audio is there, and you will know that how the Reliance has grown actually. So this is the brief presentation. I think if you have any question, we'll take after the session. So if you can run the AV, that will be great. I'll just give you the brief about the whatever Mukeshji is saying. He is saying that the Reliance was the startup before startup actually. The startup word has come in 2010 or something basically. Reliance has started very long back. And then he told that they were micro, they were small, and now they are large actually, or largest in the country actually. So all of us are SMEs, but we can become the largest or largest like Reliance. So we have potential. We need to put the right kind of seed in terms of the money or the product or the market. All these things are needed, then you can also become Reliance. Thank you very much. Thank you all.
I think a lot has been discussed since morning. As I said, हमने थोड़ा macro से शुरू किया with our senior speakers. They talked about India as a rising opportunity. Post-COVID, I think we've had a lot of positive signs with us replacing China in terms of manufacturing, especially with US, Joseph. I think India has become the overall trade value. If I have to look at only through US, if I'm not wrong, it's going to be close to $120 billion, which is a large number, and it is poised to grow more. When we talk about, apart from manufacturing, I think India has been doing phenomenally well also on the service side. Service, obviously, we've been doing fairly well because we've been, one of the leaders when it comes to, rendering us services outside India. Apart from that, we've talked about the credit facility in India, we've talked about factoring, we've talked about now resurgent getting into equities. Equity is something which actually talks about out-of-the-box financial solution when it comes to SMEs. We've discussed about employee benefit schemes, we've discussed about legal solutions because as SMEs we have a lot of contracts to make and that's where we go wrong. Whether it is in terms of negotiating with a supplier or negotiating a supply chain credit financing initiative, so on and so forth. So I think this is probably a session or last 2 or 5 minutes, which I would suggest that we'll open this session for all. In case if you have any specific questions, आपके अगर कोई भी सवाल हैं आप, kindly feel free to raise where we can take up those questions because predominantly जब आप वापस जाते हैं, so there are few takeaways that you are going to take from this event, which is going to help you either in terms of building your efficiency or increasing your output, or probably you finding up a new solution to a problem of yours. So over to you. I think in case if there are any problems or anything that you would want to discuss, please feel free to do so. I think I will have a small question when it comes, obviously I would like Joseph to answer. With US, Joseph, India has been a very, very old relationship, and obviously now with us replacing China, I think we are probably poised to be in that state where apart from petrochemicals, jewelry, gold, coal, etc., so on and so forth, oil and natural gas. What are the current opportunities for small-time entrepreneurs which are currently based out of India? Because, which are the sectors where you predominantly feel that, the Indian manufacturers or the Indian SMEs can play a very, very significant role in establishing, probably expanding in US?
No, that's a great question. It's interesting. I think one of our morning speakers brought up a friend of his that started a toy manufacturer, right? And it's a non-obvious choice, and he did very well, right? And it's everything from consumer staples to plastics to packaging. I don't want to say all of the above because that's a silly answer, but you know, I do believe that if you look at the areas, and I was struck by the speaker that talked about the factoring. And the difference between China has had 400 billion in exports, and India has only had 4, right? Because of the factoring lead, you know. So I would really encourage everyone to take him up on his solution, because I think there's absolutely an opportunity for the U.S. to consume from India where it's been consuming from China. And there's a desire to do that, right? So it's everything from a raw plastic or rubber that feeds OEMs to things like sporting goods or toys, right? That has traditionally been the domain of China. You know, so these core manufacturing products, you know, are if India can step into this void, which has traditionally been a Chinese market, there is a thirst and a desire for that right now. And you know, I don't want to leave out pharmaceuticals either, because that is a market that's very strong for India, and that goes across to traditional pharma, but that goes to chemical, that goes to food. I spoke to somebody who is in food safety chemicals. You know, there's a lot of really good agricultural products I'm seeing coming out of India right now. These are really strong. There's strong, good engineering, technological leadership right now. So, you know, again, I don't want to say all of the above, but I think these core, if you benchmark yourself against China, you have an opportunity to sprint ahead right now. I firmly believe. You know, and who said, you know, you can't wait for the government to solve your problems. You got to go do it yourself right now. And if you can align with partners and companies in the U.S. that want to do that, then do that.
Thank you. I just hope probably Ellen and Jeff also think about considering Indian entrepreneurs when they are building colonies on Mars. Yeah. My next question is going to be to Apurva here. So I think SMEs probably have one of the biggest problems today when it comes to succession planning. A lot of SMEs either die down a natural death, or probably the second generation may not be interested to take on the legacy, or probably they have other business interests. At this level, probably at the SME level, because when it comes to large corporates, obviously, we could look at a family office concept, and wherein, so we have a lot of successful concepts. When it comes to SMEs, I think buying and selling of SMEs are still not very prevalent in this country. What do you advise from your perspective? How is it that the current entrepreneurs who are getting into this probably can ensure that there is a succession planning which is there in place?
Thank you, Ravi, for the raising this important issue on succession planning. And I'll just take a step back. You know, succession planning or estate planning is from two perspectives. One is from a legal perspective, where the transmission of the assets or the shares of the company or the SME thing goes from one generation to the next generation. And second, from the business aspect, where we have to make a distinction between owner and the manager. Okay, where is that you may own the business, but you may not be a good manager of the business, so you may need to appoint professionals to run the business. So the challenge is in both the aspects. For the first aspect, where we have the expertise, is how to transfer the business from one generation to next generation. That is either by will or by forming a family trust, which we normally advocate, so that there's a clear-cut distinction between ownership and management. the trust or the owners become the owners of SME business through a family private trust, which is not being done by Tatas from over a century, and now Mukesh Ambani and Reliance Group is also following the same strategy. Second is distinction between the ownership and the management that, I mean, there have been lots of business consultants, merchant bankers and others who will advise us on that. Like, again, I follow Tata Group example, where when the next CEO, the chairperson of Tata Sons or anybody is being appointed, there was a selection committee to appoint the person. It's not because Ratan Tata's next in kin was Noel Tata, he gets automatically appointed. It was appointed to Cyrus and then to Chandrasekharan. I mean, all outsiders from the Tata family. So the succession planning has to be from both the perspectives. One is from ownership and one from management perspective, which we need to clear, I mean, make a clear-cut distinction. Otherwise, you know, there's a Hindi में कहावत है, I'll just say it. एक बंगले का उम्र 60 साल, 20 साल लगता है बर्थडे में, 20 साल enjoy करने में, third generation destroys it. So we don't want to happen. There are enough life stories in India where family business by the time it goes down to third generation, because of lack of proper succession planning, has got destroyed. Let's take for example Reliance. One faction of Reliance has completely been destroyed, Anil Ambani. Birla Group, except for the Aditya Birla Group, other Birla Groups, S Birla Group and all have completely destroyed. Dunlop, the prime time examples to that. Yep.
He is giving the example of the corporate level. It is the problem of SME. For the successor, planning of SME is very difficult. There are family-run businesses and there are single-man-run businesses from the family. One man is having the SME operating and other people are not operating in this, but they are the partners. And then successor, to find out the successor or to change over to the successor is very difficult.
Sir.
It needs special solution for the SME.
Sir, I'll answer that question. I'm giving the example of Tatas and Reliance because they're all most, in fact, 95% of businesses, whether SMEs or large corporates in India, are a family-run business. Call it, name any SME, name it the large corporates, including Reliance, it is a family-run business. Except for probably the Tata Group, which I would say is a professional-run, non-family business, I don't see any other business in India which is not a family-run business. So the problems are missed for sale.
ऐसा है कि SME सेक्टर के पास particularly small industries, उनके पास तो कोई अपॉइंटमेंट किया हुआ, कोई ऐसा अपॉइंट किया हुआ लॉयर नहीं होता है. टाइम बिंग के लिए होता है, जब ज़रूरत पड़ती है जैसे डॉक्टर के पास जाते हैं वैसे होता है. तो अंबानी या अडानी या बिरला बनाने के लिए हमारे SME सेक्टर को आप ऐसा कुछ एक मुझे सुझाव दीजिए कि वो लॉ भी बरकरार रखे, काम भी करते रहे और इशू भी फेस नहीं बिना फेस किए निकल आए. कैसे हो सकता है?
Sir, from the legal estate planning, family trust, anybody who's doing any corporate business transaction should route everything through a family trust. All the shares, everything should be held by the family trust, where all the owners become the beneficiaries of the family trust. And the shares of the company or the LLP, which is the business entity, should be held by the family trust. That's the first problem, because the owners should enjoy the profits. They should not be running the business on a day-to-day basis. The business, the right person for the right job. That means if the owner is competent enough, or the secretary or third competent enough to run the company, should be running the company, or leave to professional managers to run the company. And it's a misnomer that it can only done by Tatas and Ambanis or the big corporates. It can be done by any family business which has a turnover of 10 crores or plus.
Good. Nikit, your presentation is very good. Your confidence was very well.
Thank you.
At this age, I think you are doing good work and good efforts for your company. What is your observation for the trade finance, particularly for the SME sector, where they are lacking, where they are, not taking proper advantage?
I think when it comes to trade finance, specifically for SMEs,
the opportunities are endless. There are multiple kinds of payment terms that exporters can probably look into and take more orders. But they are not able to do that because they have very, very long-lasting relationships with buyers. So the most kind of interactions that we have, they tell us कि यार 10 साल से उनके साथ काम कर रहे हैं, payment terms change करने कैसे बोले? That is the biggest hurdle. I think that needs to change. Probably even the buyers need to have that awareness कि if they are taking factoring, उनका जो supplier है, he will clear the whatever is payment terms. उसके payments fast clear होंगे and he can also take up more orders from this specific buyer. I think that awareness is lacking in India for factoring because factoring is a product where you have to make certain changes. Basically, you are asking your onboarded buyer to make changes and tell him to pay to another bank account. So ये सारे changes, it's a one-time process. I mean, we all say, right? मतलब जो changes है, they are uncomfortable, they are difficult. But I think वो एक बार अगर कर देते हैं, then I think the possibilities are endless. They can work with many suppliers all over India. Credit terms भी उनके extend कर सकते हैं, and I think they can take on more and more business. So I think that awareness, फिलहाल I think प्रमित सर भी यही बोल रहे थे कि इंडिया में फैक्टरिंग का अवेयरनेस कम है when it comes to other countries. Where America and China, that's the reason they are growing at such a fast pace because their factoring is a very normal concept. Here if you see, मतलब chartered accountants को भी एक बार हमें समझाना पड़ता है कि this is what exactly factoring means. So I think that awareness needs to come in. Once that happens, I think we are going to go very fast.
Any question from the participant? मौका है तो पूछ लो यार.
I'm thankful to SAB Chamber of India for inviting me. This is the platform, I think this is the right platform for us who have started the business. The thing is that we would like to grow, but the thing when it comes to the point of raising the fund, still we are facing a lot of challenges. There are many bankers are here who are saying, but still when we go to bank, we are not able to get the fund on right time because nowadays competition is very, very high. Margin are going to narrow and that time we require the right support. So what is the exactly process where we can have the fund on time and we can raise the proper fund? This is my question, which actually I'm facing the problem.
I think this could be a universal question that you've asked. Anyone can pick up the mic and probably help you understand it, research it, anyone. But sir, एक हमारे बैंक ऑफ बड़ौदा और बैंक ऑफ इंडिया के जनरल मैनेजर ने जो बात की थी, उन्होंने एक बात पहले की थी, प्लानिंग की और ऑब्जेक्टिव की. तो पैसा किस लिए चाहिए वो और प्लानिंग क्या है, वो आपके पास क्लैरिटी है?
Yeah, already I have prepared my pitch deck also. In fact, I presented. But the person, the banker who said from I think Bank of Baroda, I think this is absolutely right. Then if we get the proper channel, then and then we can raise the fund. Okay, but the problem from where we should get the fund, that is the clarity is not there.
सर देखिए, बैंक एक फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशन है जिनका काम है डिपॉजिट्स लेना और लोन देना और एक इंटरेस्ट मार्जिन को रिटेन करना. कोई भी जो वो लोन देता है उसमें वो अपना बॉटम लाइन प्रोटेक्ट करता है कोलैटरल के थ्रू. इसीलिए हम कहते हैं इंडिया में कोलैटरल बेस्ड लोन आपको मिलते हैं. और ये एक सक्सेस स्टोरी भी रही है हमारे देश की कि बैंक्स अच्छा काम कर पाए डेवलप्ड कंट्रीज से, जहाँ पे बहुत सारे फाइनेंशियल क्राइसिस हमने सर्वाइव किए हैं. अगर आपको प्रोजेक्ट लोन चाहिए, अपना बिजनेस के लिए प्रोजेक्ट लोन चाहिए, उसमें आपका कंट्रीब्यूशन कितना है, बैंक आपको आपके प्रोजेक्ट के बेसिस पे प्रोजेक्ट लोन की सुविधा उपलब्ध है, जिसमें हम ग्रीन फील्ड भी प्रोजेक्ट्स की बात कर रहे थे. अगर आपको वर्किंग कैपिटल लोन चाहिए, वर्किंग कैपिटल के लिए फिर अलग तरीका है बैंक का असेसमेंट का. वर्किंग कैपिटल के अलावा अगर आपको इनवॉइस डिस्काउंटिंग है, आपको फैक्टरिंग करना है अपने इनवॉइसेस का, then probably we again had players who have spoken today largely about invoice discounting. अगर आप एक्सपोर्ट फैक्टरिंग कर रहे हैं वो अलग हमने बात किया है. तीसरी सबसे बड़ी बात की है कि अगर आपके पास या किसी भी एसएमई के पास कैपिटल नहीं है और अगर वो फिर भी बिजनेस एक्यूमेन है और आप शुरू करना चाहते हैं, तो शायद आपको एक जॉइंट वेंचर में एक ऐसे पार्टनर की ज़रूरत है जो कैपिटल लेके आए. जो आपको रिसर्जेंट इंडिया जैसा प्लेयर मदद कर सकता है. सो वेरीड सॉल्यूशंस हैं, डिपेंड करता है कि आपका एग्जैक्टली प्रॉब्लम क्या है और आपकी अपनी प्लानिंग क्या है आपके बिजनेस को किक ऑफ करने की.
At least I can say thank you very much. Today I'm having better clarity by listening all speakers, and probably I can meet to those guys. Thank you.
हाँ बोलिए, आपका नाम बोलिए, कंपनी का नाम बोलिए, सेक्टर बोलिए.
My name is Dakshesh Ladhani. I'm managing director and co-founder of Zalian Group of companies. We are fastest growing B2B channel partner for various MNCs representing in Gujarat. Since morning, first of all, yes, certainly I would like to thank the entire team, SME Chamber of India, who has organized such a wonderful, knowledgeable program which will accelerate the growth into SMEs. I've heard that, yes, SME does not only mean manufacturers. There are traders and other parties who are basically having a turnover from maybe 2 crore, 5 crores to 100 crores. I've been hearing since morning, manufacturer. I am basically a trader, right? We have grown from 40,000 rupees a monthly sales to a 40 lakh, 50 lakh in very short span. And there are traders in the market who might be having a turnover up to 100 crores also.
What is your question?
My question is, what is a platform available for the traders and SMEs who are traders, right? There are a lot of schemes, lot of policies which are available for the manufacturers.
Should I answer you?
Yeah, please.
See, when manufacturer is there, producer is there, automatically trader is coming.
Right.
Because without you, how we can survive in the market?
That's what. Yeah.
You are the right person for selling our product in the market.
Correct.
So don't worry, this platform is available for manufacturers, exporters, buyers, suppliers, traders, service providers, consultant, and of course lawyer also. And LIC also. If you get a lot of money, then USA. If you have a plan, project, research in India is there. If you want to go for a trade finance, DRIP capital is there. And
Correct.
if you want to grow more, SME Chamber of India is there.
Right, that's what the final, what lastly you said, that's what my expectation or anticipation was, that, right, that encouraging more, because today I'm present here, I know
if
as
you
a
want
trader.
more guidance, KT Patel is sitting here. He's a stalwart from the manufacturing industry. Even he knows trading, he knows sales, he knows marketing.
Sure, thank you. Thanks everyone.
Yes, please.
Actually, when I got invitation from SME, I got a call from Bombay that about my profile.
Speak loudly.
My name is Sheetal Panchal, and when I received a call from one of your colleagues from Mumbai that why you want to attend this program and what is your profile, you are not highlighted on the website. I said my work is R&D. I am not supposed to highlight my work on the website.
We have missed this sector also. So now you can highlight that.
My issue is, last 33 years, I started my career as an aviator, but we are importing many things from outside, so indigenous development has to be done and reverse engineering activities will be happening. Now reverse engineering activity, most of our SMEs are doing. So we are always following a new coming technology. They don't have an investment or any kind of budget to do actual R&D, going to the material science, going into the mathematics of it, so that they can really bring out a product which is an indigenous product. Because they don't have a budget or planning about it. Here are a lot of managers sitting here, funding agencies are sitting here, and a window like Chandrakantji has developed to talk to the government or a policy level. It is a prayer to all of you that open up a window where any SME can walk in and say, I want to buy this much material in a year, I want to invest this much labor into this material, so I can do an R&D and prototyping. My 33 years of my career has gone into helping small and large factories in developing their product and machinery. They are suffocating as far as budget.
Yes.
They want to make a global product. For that, they have to break 10 pieces, rebuild that 10 pieces and test and trial. Forget certification. Certification, again they have to spend huge amount. Right? That comes the later part. That is again an investment. You have to certify a product and then sell in the market. Because if you are making an electrical product, if you are making lights, then you have to really get BIS certification for the compliance. But before that, what about the R&D part of it?
No, your point is taken carefully and seriously. I suggest what I want to take forward now, or your suggestion, from manufacturing industry, particularly I observe that many companies are not developing or doing any research on their product. Many reasons, because one entrepreneur is playing 42 roles per day.
Yes.
वही planner है, वही seller है, वही accountant है, वही financer है, सब कुछ है. So they are not putting more efforts and they are not allocating the fund, not only for research but marketing also, branding also. So our suggestion to the SME sector, rather we want to circulate that information. Those research and development institutions, companies, wherever they are in India, they should come ahead with the proper ecosystem that they can support, they can advise, they can guide the SME sector from the packaging, for food sector, agro-based industry, chemical industry, whatever. Because each and every SME cannot set up their R&D setup or arrangement. So there we can take. So I will take your guidance. Mr. Badwe is here, sitting here. He always meeting the R&D developers, inventors, and those are people, those are having knowledge, experience, and skill. So we can take up that. Yes, Agrawalji.
Just to add in that, I think for R&D activity, Government of India has set up a Department of Science and Technology. And this department is giving money either at the very low cost or in the form of grant or equity also for long term. So any company which you are helping and they need money for its R&D expenses, because this is not funded by any bank or any institution. So you can approach to the DST. They have clear-cut guidelines on their website also. You can apply and definitely they will consider you, keeping in mind their criteria.
Along with that, MSME ministry is also there. Board of Trade is also providing. And mostly you will surprise that Atal Innovation is one of the leading setup. Government of India already set up that one. And most importantly, all the large corporate also started on CSR base. They are also looking for product development. Suppose you are a supplier to XYZ large corporate, they are also working on the product development. They are also inviting the suppliers to learn about new product, innovation, invention.
Sir, the only prayer was that...
We will discuss off the camera now, after some time, after this one. Yes, next one. Any last from here?
My name is Dr. Parimal. I'm running a company called PNS Risk Management Private Limited. This is a kind of a first company in Gujarat, I believe. My question to Nikit is, he was talking about the discounting. What would be the cost of discounting per leg, say for example, for like understanding of the people?
Sir, so invoice factoring typically happens on your invoice, like what is the exact value of your invoice. तो आपका invoice जितना भी होगा उसका 80% हम fund करेंगे, ठीक है? And आपका जो pricing है, I'm coming to that. So the pricing that will be charged to you is depending on your turnover. आपका जो 12 महीने में जो export turnover होगा उस पे हम charge करेंगे. The range for that will be somewhere around 10 to 11% per annum. और इस पे जो हम buyer पे जो exposure जो insurance लेते हैं, that also will be covered.
But sometimes what happens, people don't want to like have on the entire turnover. They are particularly like insisting for some of the transactions. In that case, are you able to do
that's
that?
Okay, that's okay. मतलब, so this is, what we are offering is commitment free. ठीक है? तो आप जितना भी business कर रहे हो, उसका if you only decide कि मुझे इतना ही part drip से discount कराना है, so that is completely all right.
All right. And what would be the like approximate cost? I am just asking about the, like people are talking about the like credit insurance premium and like it goes to 7 to 8% sometimes. So just I'm asking how much it would be.
So sir, in our case, we do not take on one specific buyer. We have an agreement, we have a yearly agreement with the insurance players. It's for a list of buyers. So if you want the exact details, probably we have 3 of our teammates there. You can come on to our stall. We'll be more than happy to guide you.
Thanks a lot.
Okay. Yeah. Madam Thakkar, some entrepreneurs are sitting here. Their age must be about 60, 65, 70. But can you give suggestion? Suppose Nikit is starting tomorrow his business, but he is aware that after my age of 60 years, whether I'm going to secure my whatever investment, or if I lost in my business in case, how my future plans will be there. What about the pension? How can it be there?
Sir, we are offering a pension scheme.
Entrepreneurs plus entrepreneurs workforce.
Yeah, entrepreneurs plus entrepreneurs workforce. What is it? We are offering a pension scheme also for them. But pension scheme, what it happens, it totally depends, it is not a statutory compliance. So it will totally depend upon the employer if he wants to provide it for the employees. And in that case, actually the tax exemption bracket is like 12% of it goes from the PF, so which is tax exempted. The other 15% is available, 15 or 17% you can say. If you do not go in for post-retirement medical benefit, then the entire 17%, the total bracket is 28%. So at 15% you can opt for pension scheme.
Okay. KTG, I am working on discussing with few experts from the insurance sector. Ravi is also expert in insurance. Those entrepreneurs, when they enter their business, they should be secured for their future. So pension, SME pension fund, I am trying to bring our market.
SME people who are entrepreneurs are not covered for the risk throughout his life. I am running 72, running my industry for 50 years, but I am not insured anywhere for the benefit of the manufacturing unit. If unit fails tomorrow, or I do not have any heirs to take over the company, or unit get lost, then what will be my position? No, there is no answer to it.
आपका 20 साल का जो तजुर्बा है इस फील्ड में, you have a good experience. I suggest give me a note on this, because I already met Mr. Kumar, and we are under the discussion on this matter. Ravi, you can coordinate with her.
Definitely.
Yes. Now coming back to the USA, there are a lot of companies in India, particularly Gujarat, Joe, they are looking for more on cooperation, international cooperation, JV, contract manufacturing, which is a state in US is very friendly, zero tax, and where they are getting a proper approvals instantly for any type of businesses, not like a very hazardous product, but which is a friendly state like a Gujarat and Maharashtra.
The southern U.S. right now is leading. It's very business friendly. You look at Texas, you look at Florida. Those are the most open, friendly states for manufacturing right now. You can look at Tennessee, South Carolina. You have favorable workforces. You have workforces that are skilled and ready to work. You don't have the effect of unions in those states. Really, the paradigm in the U.S. that has changed quite a bit is not the North, the traditional manufacturing base. It's really the South, where you're going to have very low taxes. You're going to have very favorable workforces. You're going to have a better quality of life and a more affordable quality of life as well. Those are the places to really look at, and we can help you with that.
Okay, thank you. Anyone?
I
Last
have one
question? Yes.
So, Jai Shri Krishna everyone. My name is Rukshar Fatma Ali, hailing from the land of the world's best businessmen, Tata Group of Companies from Jamshedpur. So my question is for everybody sitting here. As we can see, the proportion rate for women entrepreneurs here is 1:10. So is there any proposals or any schemes for female entrepreneurs? I think it's because of lack of encouragement and confidence level in them. So do you have anything in the SME Chamber of India where female entrepreneurs can come out and, is encouraged and be confident on stage to do business?
Okay. We have a Women Entrepreneurs Development Council, and Mr. Badwe is sitting here. His wife is a chairperson for India, and all organization run by Sakshi Kulkarni. We have many entrepreneurs, and we do a lot of activity for women entrepreneurs. But unfortunately, today many women entrepreneurs couldn't attend, maybe because of Saturday.
All right, thank you, sir.
Yes, please, Aparna.
My name is Das. I have a question for Joseph, sir, actually. When we do a lot of consultancy for SMEs and organizations, other organizations also, so what would be a best internationalization strategy or tactic which you would suggest for any SME or a growing organization?
In what regard? Help me understand. Like,
it can be digitalization, or because when we do consultancy for those they want to grow. They want to grow abroad. So some best practices if they want to grow abroad from a consultancy point of view.
Yeah, so, you know, I think readiness of product, understanding who their customer is. From my experience in growing companies, you can't make the next step to going outside your country borders unless you really understand who your ideal customer base is. You can't go the next step there until who buys your product, who are my ideal customers, who are my ideal partners, because if you go to the next country, you're going to need a distribution channel, and you're going to have to educate another distribution channel or sales force to sell your product to your customers. So you're going to have to train somebody. So training of a sales force in who your customer really is. So you might want to go back to your customers and say, why did I buy this? Why did you buy our product? Right? And I think a lot of SMEs need to almost go back and understand that before they leave their own country. And I've been in those shoes too, growing my companies. You know, you learn a lot in your first 10 customers that you think, wow, they don't really use my product for the reasons I thought they did.
Yes.
So I think that's probably the first set of questions you want to know before you go around the world. But good question, thank you for that.
Thank you.
Coupons Private Limited. My question is for Joseph. Suppose we want to have some kind of credit in the US to start a business. Can you have an arrangement where we have an asset here as a collateral? Against that, you can fund in the US.
Yeah, that's a great question. So what we've been doing here in the chamber is, again, with a lot of these bankers at the very senior level, Sri Chandrakant and I have been having these meetings. If you don't have a footprint or a step in the U.S. yet, it's going to be difficult to get a loan or any kind of funding. Now, and I've been in these meetings, we have asked them point blank, will you get funding for expansion into the U.S.? And those loans are available, okay? Now, once you get established in the U.S., we can help you as a council to start facilitating those loans. But I'll be perfectly realistic. You're not going to get them day one in the U.S. Now, if you start an immigration proceeding, if you start a green card proceeding and you get a conditional green card is the same as a full green card, and you have, as a green card holder, you have the same privileges as a U.S. citizen. So you can get bank loans along those ways. So that's for a further conversation, but the bottom line is no, a U.S. bank is not going to look at a foreign asset as collateral. You need to have a setup, a nexus, if you will, in the U.S., but there are arrangements we can do here to start with Indian banks with their expansion capital into the U.S.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, please.
Hi, I'm Jayashree. I'm part of TWIL, which is a team within Musk. It's an end-to-end logistics service within Musk. My question's for Nikit, who actually proposed in terms of how they qualify buyers so that exporters can seamlessly move and get trade finance options. what we've noticed, because we had partnered with one of your competitors, and invariably their criteria for qualifying buyers would be very stringent. And so after the scoping of countries and then analyzing the buyer's credit score and couple of other parameters, there would be very few buyers who would qualify. So for example, if 4 of the exporters in this room want financing options, probably only one buyer would get qualified, and that buyer would have a lot of financing options himself because he was probably having a good credit score and all of that. And then it becomes a bloodbath of sorts. You know, many people are willing to give financing options for that buyer. But the rest of the buyers where most people want options, they're not actually getting options in the market. So what I wanted to check is, what are you all doing differently to qualify those buyers who may not necessarily appear green for everyone when they're looking at options?
Yeah, so that's actually a very good question. So coming to what I know for a fact what your company did, and like what were the parameters that you all looked into, and what the tie-up that you all had with one of our competitors. So what we do differently is that we are partnered with more than one insurance player, which help us cover a huge portion of buyers overseas. Secondly, for buyers which are not covered under insurance, we also go ahead and fund on an uninsured basis, where we are taking the risk on our books. So that is one of the additional things that we do. How do we do that? We have credit risk agencies who we work with very closely. We look into the buyer payback capacity, what are their financials like. We delve very deep into that, and at least for them to start off, we give a very small limit so that they can at least start the transaction and let them start a track record of business along with the supplier. Once that happens, once we have a good idea of how the buyer is he paying back on time, we can probably move it to insured. So that's what we do differently.
Good. Okay.
I think additionally, there is a couple of innovative solutions. In case if someone talked about a company called Sinusure. Apart from Sinusure, in the respective countries, if you could figure out, especially insurance companies who would be willing to take up that risk, the risk could be discounted specifically by players in those specific countries where a buyer is located. This is predominantly practiced outside, not very prevalent here. And based on that, a lot of trade instruments are also which are raised once an insurance is probably bought in that specific country. Sinusure is one of the example, I think, which is one of the biggest.
First of all, Joe, Agrawalji, Nikit, Ravi, and another Agrawalji and Madam Thakkar for providing very valuable and very interesting information. Ab jitne baithe, those are sitting here, they are interested people. They are very serious people. Those are in the morning, they are businessmen people. And they were looking for more opportunity in a short time. But these people are very interesting and serious people. So we should give a big hand. Speakers should give a big hand for them. So friends, we have started now from today onwards Ahmedabad Business Forum. The first program we are going to organize on 1st October. Those your friends looking for business cooperation, identifying business opportunity, business referrals, business leads, suppliers, manufacturers, buyers, traders, consultants, bankers, investors, insurance providers, advisors, immigration services provider, all are going to be invited at one platform. Only thing is that you should have your business, you should have your business card, you should have your business profile. In that meeting, nobody will allow if you don't have a business card or business profile, printed business profile. Even though we are digital era, but we want to have a business profile in printed. Why? Because I had to, not teach, but guide the entrepreneurs to market, brand and promote their product at a time. जैसे कोई फीमेल कैसे मेकअप करके प्रेजेंट करने की कोशिश करते हैं, वैसे हमारे एंटरप्रेन्योर्स भी मेकअप चाहिए, प्रिपेयर चाहिए. केटी साहब, आपने तो तजुर्बा है कि पहले तो साइकिल से लोग जाते थे, अब तो हम व्हाट्सएप से जाते हैं, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक से जाते हैं, डिजिटल से जाते हैं. तो ये जो मौका है, दिस इज़ अ राइट टाइम टू टेक एडवांटेज. एंड आई सजेस्ट all of you are my ambassadors, all of you are maybe speakers for on behalf of our chamber to inform the Gujarati businessman or any other businessman from the region to take advantage. With this word, I am thankful to all the sponsors, supporters, speakers, participants for making this today's a grand success. I am sure that Honorable Prime Minister is now launching the logistic policy, and I hope that we should pray that he should be a healthy and happy to make India wealthy. Thank you very much.